What's up guys, Stark Entertainment back again with another video. Today I'm bringing back the Breaking It Down series. I did one of these back in December and people seem to really like it. So I figured I'd do one of these again, just because I had a video that I'd like to break down and kind of go through. But this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to kind of do it more of like a reaction video rather than it being a voiceover. Because this I'm going to break down more of me kind of picking my brain in why and how I think when I learn and play at a different field or a new field that I've never played at. Because as anyone would tell you when they play at a new field in Airsoft, you know, trying to learn where everything is, learning where you can hide, where people come from and all that. When you're not used to playing at that specific field, it is very much a learning process that you need to get accustomed to compared to when you play at a field you're very comfortable with and know. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be breaking down the Rental Recklessness video. That was one of the first games I played at Battleground Z. And so I was still learning the field, trying to figure out where things were, where people came from, where I could and couldn't go, and all of that. So I'm going to basically react and kind of explain my thought process to that. So basically I'm going to go through and explain, break down, and just go through why I did what I did, but more of the sense of how I learn a new field. For me, this isn't always the same every field that I go to. It's just going to be matched. I match it based on what the layout of the field. When I get a kind of a brief look, if it's somewhat more open, then I can take it a little bit faster, but if there's a lot of buildings and corners, then it's going to be a lot more of a slower, more methodical approach. This honestly, just this opening scene to start with, I mentioned it in the original video, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I really did kind of feel bad for the kid because he didn't really know what was going on nor understand what he just did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna have a card up in the top corner, one of these corners. It's gonna be probably this corner, something like that. To the video, you can go watch. I'm not gonna go and spoil it, but yeah, he you know, tell him to wind the mag, and there it is. He just shot me. Yeah, that was, I don't really know. I was just kind of found it hilarious that I got that on camera, and yeah, that's about it. Alright, starting this next clip, come to this kind of corner where I'm kind of scanning the middle of the field. This is because I've literally never seen the other side of the field or the spawn. I've never played here, so I have no idea where I'm expecting people to come from. So I'm just kind of getting a lay of the land, like quite literally, of how the field is then laid out. I know that there's a door that actually sits on the other side of these blue barrels, so I know that there's potentially a choke point there that I'm gonna probably have to deal with. Garrett was actually just up in front of me, and I'm kind of letting him be almost more of bait, which is, he'll kind of probably laugh at that and then comment about that later. So shout out to you, Garrett. I'm kind of letting him be bait because if he gets hit, then I can kind of get a better idea of where people are coming from. So that's kind of how I'm breaking that down. As in, I continue to work my way around this piece of cover. I'm scanning the windows in case someone's in there, and then the middle of the field. And then I work my way towards the door. I stop and freeze in the doorway, or just to the back of the doorway, where I'm then scanning to the back wall of the field, and I'm kind of using the crack of that door to kind of look and peer through there, as instead of exposing my entire body. And this is just me slowly just, you know, feeling out the field and just kind of getting my bearings where everything is placed. And then yeah, there he goes. My teammate walks his way through the door. I'm assuming he's obviously played here before. We then start to stack up on this doorway. I just tell him to go. I'm actually really not stacking up with him. He was just kind of in my way. That's why I patted him on the back. I know that there's now people coming up that are around one of these corners because he decides to flash his flashlight around one of these buildings. So I just start scanning it, and then I hear voices. I'm like, all right, cool. And then it was an easy double kill. I felt bad, which people were gonna make fun of me for, like, you know, the whole Canadian thing, but which I'm not Canadian, but still. I get a lot of comments from me constantly saying sorry and apologizing. I'm just a nice person. I don't like to hurt people intentionally, and that was a little too close in my opinion, but I'm just trying to be nice. All right, moving on to this next clip. I decided I want to go work the other side of the field because I had never seen the other side. Obviously, I had just briefly walked through it to get to my spawn, but I'd never seen this side of the field, so I'm like, all right, we're just gonna switch it up. And I ended up getting shot because I wasn't paying attention to the vast majority, or the vast amount of places people could hide and sit. And I ended up getting, I think, the trade. I'm pretty sure I ended up getting the trade for it, but that little bit at least starts to get me to understand a little bit more of a layout as I go back through. And if I want to go back over there again, I just have a better idea of what it looks like and how it plays. So right after I respawn, I then go back to that same spot, which some people are really, why would you go back to the same spot? You just died. I was, again, I'm just trying to work at the different side of the field, and that was really the only excuse. I just wanted to try it out. I think I ended up getting someone over in that corner. I'm not really sure. But yeah, now I'm just kind of scanning the middle of the field, and I realize that there's nobody there. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back through that kind of, I think it's not a hotel, I think it's like a police station or something, or terminal, is that what it says? I can't read what the sign says on there. But now I'm trying to then just look my way down the middle. I'm looking for any sort of movement. I'm just scanning around looking for movement, and just silhouettes of stuff. I see Garrett in the corner and he started shooting at me, so I'm waving at him to let him know it's me. And I slowly start to just push my way up as I'm not seeing any sort of movement. I'm like, all right, it should be clear. And then the ref tells us to back up. Then literally as soon as I go back to the respawn, I see someone out of the corner, and I just kind of just tap him, two tap, triple tap him, whatever you want to call it. I think I ended up hitting him in the face. That's why you see my hand going like, no, sorry, like I felt bad. Again, I should really turn that into like a meme for me. I was like, stop being such Canadian, even though I'm not Canadian. So yeah, and I go back to that same kind of spot just because I realize it's got a good vantage point. I can kind of see everything. I see someone that's sitting in that back window all the way across the field. This was probably one of the worst reloads I've had, because as soon as I reload, I then go and can't find my mag. That timing of the reload actually does help because it allows for two people to actually kind of set up. I saw that one out of the corner of my eye. I'm not really sure why I flinched. I think I put that late in the video. I don't know why I flinched. I think I got ricocheted from something else because I got hit in the back of the head, and that's why I flinched forward, which didn't make any sense. I then decided to switch over to the other side of the field. I got two people on the left side. I'm probably getting it constricted. Now I'm going to try and wrap my way around and go back through. As I go through the doorway, I see a little bit of movement in the top of the building, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going through there, choke point. I'm trying to give him cover, and I'm calling out to him to let him know there's someone in the second story. And as I peer through one of these windows, I see him just out of the corner, and I just tap him. I'm like, all right, cool, there's one. And I'm like, all right, this should be clear. I'm gonna start working my way back up through the door, and then go wrap my way around the field. And I think as I come around, I saw someone that started working their way around the building. Yep, and right there. And then I'm like, all right, just anticipate it, wait for it, boom. And I'm like, all right, there should be probably, I've gotten 3 or 4 people that have started going back to spawn. This should start getting relatively close. That was the rental kid that was behind me because he kept shooting me in the back from time to time. I had to tell him it was me. There was someone else, got him. So yeah, I'm really just kind of clearing people out at this point. At this point, I've got to kind of start to get a better feel for the field, so I start getting more comfortable. So I start speeding up the pace of which I'm clearing out various rooms, obstacles, whatnot. So I go back to the other side of the field where I was, near like the terminal side. I see someone through that massive window again, and I'm realizing that could be a pretty good vantage point for someone to sit. I go up in this little building step thing, and I see someone. I'm looking around, and then I see someone start getting shot at. My gun ends up, I think, dry firing. So I'm trying to grab a grenade, which I'm not thinking is a good idea, because then he ends up pushing me and hits me. Looking back, that is not my smartest idea, considering I shouldn't have tried to go reach for a grenade. I shouldn't have been reaching for a grenade in that situation. I should have just either reloaded or drawn my pistol, because as soon as I moved down or stepped away from that door and the window, logically it makes sense that you would then push the doorway, as I've now gotten, like, we'll call it scared. So I should have just had my pistol just ready for him to then push it, but I didn't, and I'm getting hit in the process. The next part, again, I'm going back to these same spots. I really do kind of prefer this side because it's a little bit more open. It's more open, it's a little bit easier to navigate, and there's less hidey spots, really. That's what I'm gonna call them, as hidey spots. I'm starting to look for people moving. That's a lot of the time what I end up doing. Is I thought I heard footsteps, so I just start shooting this side, and then as I stop and I look, I'm realizing that there's people gonna be going the opposite. There's people working the opposite side of the field. You see me pointing. So yeah, Garrett and I run over to the other side of the field to try and now catch him on like a rotation, which I don't really know why I use the word rotation, but oh well. I work my way through the jail. And then I start doing that same type of scan that I did at the very beginning of the video. I see someone in the middle of the field. My gun is, I'm out of ammo, so I gotta reload. Again, not a great reload for me, honestly. Now this is not a great place to sit, because I have my right side exposed from these windows, and then my back side could be exposed if someone works their way behind the jail towards our spawn. I get lucky that I was able to be concealed in the jail because of the kid, and he doesn't see me. I end up hitting him, but normally you're in a very exposed position because you're sitting in that hallway that people can see you, especially because then you can get hit from those windows. I think I end up getting hit from one of them as I work my way around. As I'm not paying attention, I'm not listening, I don't think, and I get hit. Yeah, I get hit from one of the buildings, so that was too close. I wasn't reacting quick enough, and I was just assuming that it was clear, and I end up getting hit. But other than that, that's really gonna do it, guys. I know that probably doesn't seem like a lot to break down. I was pretty good with just getting into the flow, into a groove. I eventually started picking up the pace as I got more comfortable. If I had a video that I could go and break down my first time playing at Troy, I would, but I didn't have my GoPro when I first started playing there. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a breakdown of Troy when I go back in May, if that's something you guys want to see. I want to see breakdown 3 in the comments, or breakdown Troy, whichever one. I'll know what you're talking about, and I will break down my thought process in Troy, considering that is a lot smaller of a field, and it's also changed, and I haven't played there in over a year and a half, or over a year now, so like 14 months. So I got to relearn that field again because I've been told that it's changed a little bit. So if that's something you guys want to see, let me know down in the comments. Give this one a like, please. If people are still here, give this one a like, because it really does help get some more exposure. It's all an algorithm. The more likes, the more it's going to get exposed to more people, and that's really what I need. I want to get that exposure so we can keep growing here. But other than that, that's really going to do it, guys. I appreciate the support as always, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.